You don't need a big account to make real progress when you're trading. I grew fast by keeping things very simple, very focused, and very scalable. If your goal is to grow your account in, say, 90 days, then this is the blueprint that you need, and I wish I had when I started to follow. Now, something that I see is most traders that are new, they don't know what they're doing, they have a small account, and they blow it up and it goes to near zero. That doesn't have to be that way. Now, something that nobody tells you, it's not the number of trades, it's the quality of trades that you need to look at. Let me walk you through my strategy that helped me grow fast without risking all of my capital. Now, before we get into it, I want to give you a quick disclaimer. I want you to copy what I'm doing, but not in the sense of copying my trades. I want you to copy the process that I'm going to give you, something that you can use and you can copy and replicate for your entire trading career. Now, let's define what day trading is. There's a difference between day trading, swing trading, and long-term trading. So if you're day trading, what are you doing? You're trading on a chart called a 15-minute chart. It could be a 1-minute chart. It could be a 5-minute chart. I personally like a 15-minute chart. Why? I think the next most useful chart is 1-minute chart. I think that's more for scalping than it is for day trading, which is fine. Scalping works extremely well. It's just a totally different level of trading. But I've always found that a 15-minute chart is very useful. So what is it? If you come over here, you can see on my screen, I'm going to look at yesterday. So this right here, the area in the black is between 9:30 a.m. Eastern time and 4 p.m. Eastern time. The blue, this is post-market. The pink, the red, the orange, whatever this is pre-market. So what we're really focusing on is this area in black. This is actual market trading. We're 4 minutes and 50 seconds into the day, and this is Tesla. Now, how does day trading work? Each one of these candles is a 15-minute period. So if we come over here and we look at Tesla, and we look at yesterday's candle. So yesterday's candle was this, try to zoom in as much as I can, this candle right here. Now, if we take a magnifying glass and we zoom in on this candle where my cursor is, you get that right here. This is what happened yesterday during the day. So this is 9:30 in the morning, 9:45, 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, so on and so forth throughout the day until you get to 4 p.m. Why is this useful? This is useful because you can trade within the candle. So yesterday you might be looking at this saying, there's going to be days where you see a big jump in price. So this was Monday. Let's go and look at Monday. So that was Wednesday. This is Tuesday. This is Monday. Monday, you had a day where the stock price was actually negative on the day. But what do you notice? We opened up here. We opened up here. But what do you notice? It wasn't just down the whole day. We went sideways throughout the day. There was really one point in the day where we had a big massive fall, and that was in the afternoon around 1:45. 1:45 to 2 o'clock to 2:15, kind of rounded it out around 2:30, and it kind of carried its way back up. But you can see the price action that's happening. Now, how do you execute a trade over here? Well, if you've watched any of my other videos on these charts specifically, you have an area called the sweet spot. It's the area between 80 and 32% where you have the highest probability to make money, right? Well, that's going to change when it comes over. We're still going to have a sweet spot, but what we're going to have is a sweet spot that is for a long-term trade up here between 80 and 100. This is where you're going to have the highest probability to make money going up, and down here between 20 and 0, where you have the highest probability of making money going down when you're shorting a stock. Now, you may ask, okay, so the candles seem similar because we're still looking, what are we looking for? We're still looking for buy signals. We're still looking for engulfing candlesticks. The only difference is this is a 15-minute period versus a one-day period. We're still looking for a sweet spot. We're still looking at the highest probability to make money. Now, what else do we typically look for? We look at volume. Volume still matters. Volume is arguably more important over here because things are happening faster. So if I'm looking at yesterday's chart and I'm just focusing on the volume was mediocre throughout the day. What do you notice about when the volume was kind of mediocre? Well, the stock just kind of went sideways. There was really no big price movement. When we started getting bigger volume, especially increasing buying volume, what happened to the stock price? Started to climb. That's just how it works. It's the same thing. You're just looking for these abnormalities or increases in volume, increases in buying volume, selling volume, whatever it is, whatever trade you're trying to make. And that is where you're going to make money. So we're still looking at the same basics. Trend, candlesticks, in volume. Just we're looking under a microscope. So if I'm looking at yesterday saying, all right, we had Tesla. Now, you might look at this. This is a great example. The trend is above 80%, right? And we did get one engulfing candlestick here. You could have made that trade, but there wasn't really much going on. The afternoon is really where you wanted to catch this thing. Big engulfing candlesticks, big increase in volume here. Notice you didn't really have a massive increase in volume. You did, but nothing massive. You had a big increase in volume, and what happened? The candles followed suit. You went on a really, really nice run throughout the afternoon. Why do I like day trading Tesla? Because a lot of you will remember or note back, I don't love shorting Tesla from a long-term perspective or a swing trading perspective because it's so volatile. But we like volatility when it comes to day trading. Why? Because we can capture these 20, 30-minute runs out of nowhere. If we go to the previous day, this is Tuesday. Maybe we didn't have the best trading opportunities in here, but you got a little bit of a climb throughout the day. Let's go to Monday and see what happened. I like this. You were in the sweet spot on the bottom, highest probability to make money on the downside, really nice engulfing candles. And what do you notice about these three volume bars? They are significantly larger than the rest of the day. That's a nice trade on Tesla. If we just continue to go back further, let's see what we can find here. All right. Aha. In the morning, what did we have? Big volume bars, trend in the sweet spot. You made a really nice run in the morning. And then the rest of the day, not much. So why do I like trading Tesla? Because it seems like every single day there's an opportunity to trade it. This is why you want to have something like a Tesla on your watch list and something that you pay attention to daily. You had an opportunity here. You had a big opportunity here. There's just, it seems like almost every day you have a chance to do something. Actually, this is a very interesting one. This one you had an opportunity to go up in the morning and you had a massive opportunity to come down in the afternoon. This brings me to my next point. You need to be a two-way trader. I look at Tesla and say, I don't only have one stock to trade, I have two stocks to trade. Why? Because I can go long and go short on the same company. You have to be able to be a two-way trader. And don't look at shorting and saying, well, I can lose infinite amount of money. Of course you can. But the way we're doing this, there's zero chance that you're going to lose infinite amount of money. So that brings me to stops. A lot of people ask me, Mo, do you use stops? Not really. Why? Because I'm sitting on my computer just paying attention to this. If you don't have the emotional fortitude to sell a stock because you are worried about a wick and the price is coming down, you think it's just going to go down and you're not going to make any money, you're going to give all your money back, then use stops. You can put a trailing stop in there. So if you want a trailing stop of 2%, as the stock goes up, the 2% number is just going to continue to climb. And if it drops 2%, you're going to, from the high of that day or wherever your stock price is during that period of time, 2% down, it's going to sell your stock for you. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at the computer. I don't necessarily need a trailing stop. Now, if you're trading 4 or 5 stocks at one time, I would highly recommend that you use trailing stops because it's impossible to pay attention to 4 or 5 stocks at one time if you had something. Well, I don't have the upgraded version because I don't trade 4 or 5 stocks at one time. I trade 1 stock at a time because I want to make quality trades. It's not about the number of trades, it's about the quality of the trade. So if I can sit and pay attention to one company, I don't necessarily need to use that trailing stop. Now I want to pull something up here on Tesla. And if we just scroll down here and look at some stats, the beta. The beta here is 1.8. What exactly is beta? Beta is relativity to how much the stock moves. So I'm going to get all this out of the way. Get this out just so I have a clean screen. The S&P 500, or SPY, or SPX, whatever you want to call it, the beta is 1.0. So this is the benchmark. When looking at Tesla, you can say the beta is 1.8. So if the market moves 1, this is going to move 0.8 times more. This is very, very basic layman's terms. If you look at something like a 3-time levered ETF, like something like an LABU, and we come and look at the beta is 2.84. So if the market moves 1, LABU is going to move 2.84 times. That's fast. That's for experienced traders. I've seen this beta get close to 4. When I was day trading full time, this was close to 4. This is the only stock, this and LABD, which is the inverse of each other. These are the only 2 stocks I traded. Now, I was very immersed in this. I was experienced. This is what I did for a living at the time. I would not recommend that a normal novice person go out there and start trading LABU. I would start with something like Tesla. That's as crazy as you get. Now, let's go to the other side of the coin. I do not want you trading something like an AT&T. AT&T does not move. It is very difficult to make money on AT&T. Why? Well, let's look at the beta here. It's 0.04. You're not moving. The stock is not moving. And if we just zoom this out, look, the stock doesn't move. It bounces. In the last 2 days, it's basically bounced between 29.21 and 29.56. There's no money to be made in here. Don't trade something like an AT&T. You need to make sure you're trading stocks with betas probably higher than 1.75. You got to have movement. You got to have a little bit of volatility. I often get asked the question, I'm not making any money day trading. And I very simply say, what stocks are you trading? And they send me their stocks and they say, your beta's not high enough. This is why you're not making money. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to make money. You have to have a little bit of high beta. 1.75 would be my minimum. If you're a novice, 2.25 maybe max. If you're an experienced day trader and you're doing this for a living, go up to 4. Go crazy. You're going to make a lot of money. But you got to take the time to get there. Now, some other ways to find stocks. Well, I come over here to Yahoo Finance, I drop down to markets, and I say biggest gainers. This is a great way to do it. It's not most actives, it's biggest gainers. So I might look at this and say, what's going on today? ETNB, 89 bio. No clue what that is. Doesn't really matter, but I know it's up 85% today. So let's go look at ETNB here and look at what happened here in the morning. This thing jumped up on some type of news. It's up 89%. It stayed there. It opened the day there. I'm looking at this saying what? Well, I'm looking at this saying, I hope I can grab at least 1% short here. So I'm waiting for a setup that is going to drop this down and I can just make 1%. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to make 1% per day. And you might say 1% per day, that's not a lot. But if you annualize 1% per day over 250 trading days or whatever there are per year, you're going to make a hell of a lot of money. All you need is 1% per day. You don't need to sit here and grind and make 25% a day. That's not what this is about. If you want something where you're going to go and make 90% a day, this is not the channel for you. I'm sorry. That's not the way I'm going to trade. That's not how you make money over the long term. That's when people say that trading doesn't work. Because just as easy as you made 90%, you're going to lose 90% the next day. You got to do something that's sustained and you can do over a long period of time. Intel's up 24% today. What? Good Lord almighty. I can't believe that. Let's go to Intel. The government buy more? Let's see Intel. There you go. Big move up at 7 a.m. Open the day here. And what's happening? Pay attention. We're already starting to see this thing drop. I would be paying attention for this to go short. I would like to get my stochastic to pop up here. That would be wonderful trading view if you could do that for me. But I would be looking at this to go short. You can already see the sellers, people taking profits off the table saying, oh, this is crazy. This is not gonna sustain itself. That's helpful. Here's my guess of what the stochastic looks like, and it might pop up. I think we're probably somewhere right around here, making its way down to below 20%. At some point, it will get there, but we're already seeing it. There you go. What we're seeing is, why did I think that it was right here? I thought it was right here because we're starting to get this wick. You can see that it's already rebounding a little bit. Doesn't mean it's gonna rebound the rest of the day. I think it's going to probably consolidate in here and it'll start to drop off at some point. And when it starts to drop off and you start to get those engulfing candlesticks down, because people are making 20% in this, Intel has been dead for years and years. So if somebody can get 24% in a day, they're going to be taking their profits. We're already seeing that. Look at that. Already seeing that. This will eventually get down here and you'll be able to make a nice day trade on it. Now, something else that I want to talk about when it comes to day trading. You need to start paper trading. Trade with fake money. You can find it here on TradingView. You can find it on Interactive Brokers. You can find it on so many different places. I think you can find it on Webull. Just trade with fake money. Why? This can be an emotional roller coaster. Let me tell you a little story. There was a day that, this was in 2014, 15, I don't remember what it was. I was trading LABU, wasn't paying attention, lost $27,000 in a matter of, 30 seconds. It can happen that way. It can happen fast. It was a 4 beta. I wasn't paying attention. You can get smoked. You can absolutely get smoked. And that happened on a Monday. I took the rest of the week off. Why? Because I wasn't in the emotional state to go and trade again. what was going to happen if I went back to it? I was going to try to recoup the money. And you don't need to recoup the money on the same stock. You don't need to get revenge. The stock doesn't give a flip who you are or how you made money or how you lost money. They just don't care. You don't need to do that. So I just took the week off, came back. You need to come back in the right mindset. If you're having a bad day, don't trade. If you're doing something incorrect or you realize that you have to have a lot of self-awareness or you are chasing things, don't trade. You don't need to trade every day. That's the beauty of this. You can take your time, but start on paper because I promise you, when you trade on paper, it's fine. You'll learn how to do it. If you put $1 into a stock, $1, and you lose 5 cents, I promise you that 5 cents will hurt. You're going to look at that going, damn, it's different than trading on paper, even though it's a nickel that you can go find on the corner of the street. It's different when it comes to real money. So make sure you take the time to trade and start slow. Start on paper, move to a little bit of money, and then gradually make your way up. If you're a person that has $1 million, don't just go put $1 million into this. If you have $1,000, don't just put $1,000. Take your time. This is a skill that you're going to learn for the rest of your life. I'm 36 years old. I'll go and look at somebody and say, how old are you? They'll say 36. Well, you haven't made a trade for 36 years of your life. What's another month? What's another 30 days for you not to make a trade? Take the time to learn because it's a process you're going to use for the next decades and decades to come. Now, something interesting has happened in our Patreon community. A lot of people are beginning to day trade. It's actually pretty cool to see because most people come to the channel and they want to swing trade, they want a long-term trade, but I'm getting a lot of day traders and we have a chat that is specifically dedicated to wins and losses that are happening. How can we improve on our losses? How can we celebrate the wins? I'm seeing a lot of day trades in there. People in there making 1% to 2% per day on a consistent basis. It's a very, very lonely road out there. Join the community. Try it out for when you're practicing, when you're paper trading. Give it a shot. Have a resource to bounce off of. You'll have me, but you'll also have other people that are relatively in the same position as you are. There's a lot of new people that are starting to day trade in the community, and it's a really great place to be. Now, this is just a piece of it. I just showed you how to day trade. If you want to expand your knowledge on day trading and see what other trades are out there that we have to offer, the other types of styles of trading, click this video right here. It's a 2.5 hour long course. It's chaptered. It's everything you need to know about my style. I'll see you in the Patreon.